Good afternoon, boys and girls, and today is April 20th, and it's time to go over our solutions for our DMA, which is for week 30, day 1. So I'm going to start us off by looking at our comparing the fractions. So we're going to start with the second problem of day 1. And it says write a less than, greater than, or equal sign to make the statement true or equation true. So we are looking at 3/6 compared to 6/6. So we know based on our denominators that we are going to partition our whole into 6 equal parts. And we can start by using thirds. And then we take each third and we partition that third into 2 more pieces, and that gives us our sixths for each one of these unit parts. Now, if we look at the numerator tells us that we want 3 of our sixths. So we know that we can shade in 3 of our sixths. Now we're going to do the same thing with our other rectangle, which is still one whole. We're going to start with thirds, and we're going to look over here and partition it fairly closely to the same place. Partition each third into 2 more parts, and that would give us our sixths. Now, if we look at our numerator tells us how many of the 6 we are going to use. So we have 6 of the 6. Now, since we have 6 of the 6, we also should understand that this is also considered one whole. So we notice that all of this rectangle is colored in, and we're comparing it to the 3/6. We should also know that 3/6 is half, because 3 parts of the 6 total parts is half. So to make this statement true or equation true, we're going to put a less than symbol. Okay, moving along to our third problem. It says write the fractions shown. So again, we count how many parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We know that each one of these unit fractions or unit parts is a 1/8 part of the whole. And we notice that all 8 parts are shaded in. So if all 8 parts are shaded in, we know that the denominator tells us our total parts, and the numerator tells us the parts that we're counting. In this case, we have 8 shaded parts. So we have 8 of our parts in our numerator. We also know that 8/8 is also equivalent to one whole. Let's look at our equations here. So if we zoom in here, we have one group of 5. One group of 5, or 1 times 5, is going to give us a product of 5. First factor tells us our groups. Second factor can tell us how many is in each group. 7 groups of 9. 7 groups of 9. So we could use repeated addition, and we could add 9 7 times. Or if we know our multiples of 9, we could go 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 54, and 63. So that's our 7th multiple of 9. So we know that 7 times 9 is 63. Now with division, we have our dividend, which is our total number of objects. We have our divisor, which tells us how many groups we have. So if we needed to, and we don't know our multiplication facts yet to help us use for division, we can take the 6 groups and share equally the 12 objects between these 6 groups. So we could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come back to the first group, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This tells us that we have 2 objects in each group, so our quotient is going to be 2. Now let's return back to our word problem. So our word problem for today is a elapsed time. We did not have a chance to do a lot with elapsed time, but looking at this, it says, look at the clock. Blair arrived at the bus stop 45 minutes ago. What time did Blair arrive at the bus stop? So I'm going to use a timeline. So I'm going to use my understanding of a number line and use it more like a timeline. So we know that Blair arrived at the bus stop, or is looking at the time, and it is 2:15 right now. Now, that's what time it is now. However, it says that he or she arrived at the bus stop 45 minutes ago. So we want to know what time Blair got there. So if we were to partition and we were to go by 15-minute intervals, we could go back 15 minutes, and that would put us at 2 o'clock. Go back another 15-minute interval, and that would put us at 1:45. Go back another 15 minutes, which now that makes 45 minutes, because 15 and 15 is 30, plus another 15 is 45. Subtract another 15 minutes from 1:45, and we would have 1:30. Assuming that these are all going to be PM, since most of the time people are not usually catching the bus in mid-morning, so we are going to say that Blair arrived at the bus stop at 1:30. So I hope this helps you with your solutions and checking your solutions. Always make sure to double check, and have a great evening.